Firelight flickered against the mud walls as we sat in a circle, the night heavy with tension. I had never spoken of the prince's deeds before, but the weight of what I knew had grown too much to bear. My voice was low as I began, and the others leaned closer, their faces tense. "I was there," I said, "the night the prince locked his own brother in the snake pit. There was no ceremony to it, no excuse that could make sense of the act. Prince Wantor was cruel in a way that made your skin crawl. His father, the king, was old and blind to the growing darkness in his son. But the rest of us, servants, villagers, even the guards, we knew what he was. It started with small things. Animals found mutilated in the royal gardens. The screams of housemaids who disappeared, only to return days later with hollow eyes and strange scars. But none of us spoke out. Who would dare? Wantor had a way of watching people that froze their tongues in fear. One night, the king called a feast to celebrate the season's harvest. Wantor's younger brother, Sesugh, danced with the villagers, laughing and clapping like he was one of us. Sesugh was everything Wantor was not: kind, warm, a light in the shadows of the palace. But Wantor hated that light. The feast ended late, and as the crowd thinned, I saw the two brothers talking by the gates. Wantor's hand rested on Sesugh's shoulder, but there was something wrong in his posture. Too stiff, too controlled. I didn't trust it. I followed them, staying in the shadows. They walked to the far side of the palace grounds, where the snake pit lay hidden. A deep, stone-lined hole filled with vipers the king kept for sacrifices. No one went near it unless they had to. Sesugh hesitated at the edge. "Why are we here?" I heard him ask. His voice wavered, but he stayed, trusting his brother like a fool. Wantor didn't answer. He moved so quickly I barely saw it, grabbing Sesugh by the neck and shoving him forward. Sesugh's scream was cut short as he hit the pit floor, and the snakes began to hiss. I wanted to run, to scream, to do something, but my legs refused to move. Wantor looked down at his brother, his face calm, too calm. "You've always been too soft," he said. "Too weak. Now we'll see how long you last." He turned and walked away, leaving Sesugh's cries echoing in the night. I waited until Wantor was gone before crawling to the edge of the pit. Sesugh was still alive, barely, his body twisted and bleeding from the bites. "Help me," he whispered, his voice thin and broken. But I was a coward. I ran, afraid that Wantor would return and find me. The next morning, the king announced that Sesugh had left the palace to find his own path. No one questioned it. No one dared. But I knew the truth. And now so do you. Woof.